Welcome to Monday, the 9th day of September 2024. Your day weather podcast calling for, well, more of the same to get the week started, but west of the divide is going to see some changes this week, which is good news for some parts of the interior west that could use a change in the weather. But for the start of the week here, basically today, tomorrow, and Wednesday for most of you will just basically be exactly what we had over the weekend. Warm temperatures, a little bit of cloud buildup in the afternoon hours, a little bit of spotty isolated shower and thunderstorm activity. So what we had over the weekend is what we're going to see for today through Wednesday. Now, as we get to the end of the week, things begin to change. Trough comes into the Pacific Northwest and to the interior west. And what this will do is bring about some cooler weather. But a lot of it, and most of it, will be felt west of the divide. So for you folks listening, watching to the podcast west of the Continental Divide, you're actually in store for most of the weather over the next 7 to 10 days because there's not one but two of these troughs that'll settle in. Now, hopefully, that's going to bring some needed rain and wetness to the Idaho fires, parts of Montana. In fact, it looks like a good part of Montana, especially the central and west, could see significant amounts of moisture. That'll get up into south central Canada as well. Then the second system will be stronger and will go a little bit further south. So things west of the divide are going to get a little bit more interesting. Now, some of the weather will spill over on the eastern side of the divide, but the biggest impacts will be found west. And there you see kind of what's going to happen today. Cloud buildup, a little bit of shower and isolated thunderstorm activity may pop up in some areas. Now, some of you are out chasing around or want to go chase around what you see in that photo right there. I know some archery hunters would like to see some cooler weather arrive, and it will be happening as the week progresses. But we're going to see a lot of this with high mountain peaks, not looking at very snowy at the moment, but that in a couple of weeks, that all that tune will be changing going forward. Now, we start the week like this. We have a weak little low up here in the northern Rockies, but we have high pressure building off to the west and a trough wanting to dig later on in the week in the west. And there you can see that little weak low that's up there in the west central areas of Montana, but this is not the big weather maker. But it is going to be enough to bring in some humidity. So you can see subtropical moisture is really cut off. This is mainly a Pacific moisture pattern, and that's really what we've had, Pacific moisture coming in. And that with daytime heating is going to lead to spotty shower and thunderstorm activity today. That's where it's going to be tomorrow, and we'll see a similar pattern on Wednesday. Ahead of the trough, though, temperatures are going to be warm and still summer-like, but the precipitation today and tomorrow looks a lot like what we had over the weekend. There's going to be a little bit of moisture falling in the high country, not much falling on the plains, and really not too much happening with the weather with these isolated thunderstorms today and tomorrow. Now, things begin to change, and here we go on Thursday. This is by mid-morning on Thursday. We have a more robust trough sliding into the Pacific Northwest. And this system is going to kind of bump into this higher pressure ridge that's going to be here over the Great Lakes. So it's going to settle in and then slowly track off to the northeast as it bumps into this high later in the week. But what this will do is send a cooler, more moist air mass from the North Pacific into the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada. Then by Saturday, you can see that it doesn't make it much further east. In fact, it gets blunted up north. So what will happen is the coolest, most unsettled weather ends up along and west of the divide here. East of the divide, yeah, it's going to get a little bit cooler. There'll be a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. This is what's going to be left of a tropical situation now developing in the Western Gulf, headed to East Texas and Louisiana. That'll be making some news here over the next 48 hours or so. This trough will then be replaced by another one later. We'll show you that here in a minute. So the precipitation forecast, the 4-day period of Wednesday through Saturday, looks like this. Look at Montana's western areas, into southern areas of Alberta, and then hopefully into those fires of Idaho. Could have some help there with some rain, and as you'll see in a moment, even a little bit of mountain snow. The Pacific Northwest gets some rain, even northern parts of California, then a little bit of spotty shower and thunderstorm activity east of the divide. There you can see the possibility this week for some higher elevation snows from northwest Wyoming to southwest Montana into central of Idaho there. So there is a bit of a fall-like feel coming in midweek here. Then look at temperature anomalies. These are the temperature anomalies by Thursday. So temperatures cool off considerably as that system settles on in. So that's system number 1. Here's system number 2. This is by next Wednesday. It's very similar. It settles into almost the exact same area. It runs into a big area of high pressure that is going to want to be in the Great Lakes region. So this system will come in. It's going to be probably a little stronger. It's push of cold air a little bit colder, the moisture a little bit better. So by the middle of next week, about a week apart, that system comes in. Between the systems, the weather will be pretty nice. But the secondary system results in this, another good wave. This is for the 5-day period of Sunday through Thursday of next week. So gets further south into the Wasatch Front, in the northwestern areas of Arizona, into western Wyoming, eastern Idaho, Montana again. So this will be a robust trough, it looks like, as it stands right now. That will bring another salvo of cool wet, but you again see that it's west of the divide, east of the divide, there's not a lot of weather. So west slope, folks, you get to hog the weather here over the next week to 10 days or so. Look at these temperature anomalies by next Wednesday. Pretty impressive, pushing further east and further south. So this is the stage that we're in towards the middle of September. The Pacific fronts get a little more robust, a little bit larger, pushing a little bit more south as we try to transition seasons. But there's nothing here that's earth-shattering. This isn't a big blasticle. This is mainly a Pacific air mass, not connected to some of the colder air masses in northwest Canada that are building, but certainly enough to bring a fall pattern, especially for you folks west of the divide. And there's the chance for some high elevation snow again with the second system. Those snow levels stay pretty high, but this area right here that could really use a cooler, moist pattern looks like it's going to be getting it. Have yourself a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.